try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
I'm talking about Frank Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks, Isaiah Collier, the rookie, Cody Williams, the rookie, Bryce Sansamore, second year, maybe keeping Walker Kessler. That means either Danny Ainge thinks that they're going to be a championship team in 3 to 4 years, or he's going to wait 1 year and he's going to trade Lauri Markkanen and he's going to get the farm.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Say the under has the correct juice to the 6.5 win total for the New York Giants. It's a losing season. It's a bad season in the greater New York area. Is Brian Daboll and is Joe Schoen back next year?
As a Giants fan, what are you looking forward to? Absolutely nothing. You're hoping like the Yankees make a long enough run so you can forget about the Giants.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The bottom of this field is a bunch of guys, quite frankly, that aren't on the tour, aren't on the DP tour, aren't on the Korn Ferry tour.
You know, the top 25 or so in this field, I mean, you've got Rory, you've got Lowry, you've got Scheffler, you know, all four Americans, Minwoo Lee and Jason Day. And you go to Mito Pereira and Joaquin Neiman out of Chile. So, you know, it really is pretty deep.
InGame Live, PrimeTime, only on...
And welcome in to InGame Live Primetime on a terrific Tuesday. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for the next 2 glorious hours until 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Looking, watching, betting, and hopefully making some money with the boys in Vegas on the world of sports. Ah, yes, we got our PP again today, public parlay. Last night it was the Stankies. Who's going to ruin it tonight? We got same-game parlays, Black Clouds. We got guests. We got the Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors joining us. We got Cam Stewart. We got Brady Cannon. So fun-filled 2 hours, including Mr. Padre himself tonight anyway, trying to put, no doubt, his own little black cloud on the San Diego Padres, Dave Sharapan. What's going on, Dave? Looking pretty good tonight. How are you, my friend?
Good to see you, sir. Yeah, we tried it last night. We wore the old Padre stuff, Tony Gwynn. When you see this Padre stuff, who do you think of? Because I got multiple Padres that I think of when I, see the orange and the dark blue combo. You can't say Tony Gwynn. Who's the guy?
That's too old.
You can't say Tony Gwynn in this. Who is it? Who is it? Come on.
How about Randy Johnson or Randy Jones? Remember the left-handed pitcher? Nearly won 30 games that one year.
Randy Jones never wore this uniform. This was in the 90s.
That was old school too.
Right. This is the 90s. Come on. 90s Padre. Think of somebody.
Yeah. I'm kind of dead. Out of the 90s, I was like fooling around a little just out of college. If there's a dead decade for me, it's the 90s, believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give the people, tweet at us, at Opposite Picks, at SportsBK Consig. Who's a Padre that you think of? Because the back of this says Trevor Hoffman. I mean, Trevor Hoffman was an all-time closer.
Right.
Like how you could not come up with that, Wetzel. I mean, now that I know what he was doing in the 90s, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like Ken Caminiti, that could work, right? You think of Ken Caminiti in this uniform? Just a couple.
Gary Templeton. Want to go Gary Templeton? If you've
Gary Templeton was before all of this. You really did stop everything in the 90s, huh? I mean, there was nothing going on for you. The Padres played in the World Series in the 90s.
I understand, against the Stankies. I think I went to a couple of those games, believe it or not. I was covering the Yankees at that time, believe it or not. I don't remember it, but I got the ticket stubs. I got the press credential, rather. So
Unbelievable.
I think after the 86 World Series, I kind of I really, my baseball brain shut down. Never really got into the Jose Canseco Red Sox. You remember him being on the Red Sox? They were halfway
Briefly.
decent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a 2 or 3 year period there where other things took precedent. So not that I don't know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
We'll take precedent tonight with the game. Padres Pirates. We got people reaching out to us on social media saying this is one of the best sayings of all time. This is if Scott Wetzel is going to be remembered for a few things on SportsGrid, it's winners bet on streaks, losers bet against streaks. There it is right there. Pirates 0-9 last 9 games versus righty starters. M. King is his righty starter tonight. Padres 15-3 in their last 18 games played. You didn't use this for the Black Cloud, did you? Please tell me. There's no use of the Black. You can't use the Padres tonight. Oh, no.
Well, I don't want to spoil a surprise, but, since we didn't give you a present for your birthday yesterday, yeah, I did use the Padres for the Black Cloud tonight.
We'll see.
So,
Boy, we're going to put it all to
listen,
the test.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because just like last night, right, there's no way in the world the Yankees, Padres, and Diamondbacks are winning. We said it last night. We didn't know which one of the three. Of course, it had to be the Stankies, so we put them out of our misery early. These PPs in baseball, other sports, yes, but in baseball, they rarely come true. Did I bet it? Sure I did. Even though I'm telling you right now, I know categorically, without a shadow of a doubt, there is no way those 3 teams are winning tonight. But did I bet it? Yes, I did. So how much do I really know, right?
I don't know. You didn't learn a lesson last night? You didn't?
No.
The Stankies lost 12-2 yesterday.
Oh, my goodness. How embarrassing is that? How embarrassing is that? I ask you this. If there was a bet on will the Yankees, Diamondbacks, and Padres win one time on either, well, obviously it didn't happen yesterday, today, tomorrow, and it was a 50-50 bet, would you take yes or no?
Well, no, because we can bet it every day, and it's still plus money on a parlay.
That's true.
Right? You put the money line together. It was what yesterday?
Like 180 tonight.
It
180
pays
tonight.
more tonight, right?
Yeah, because the Yankees are not as big of favorites tonight.
Right. Yeah, so the smart projection here tonight on the SportsGrid, 70% to win.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. You got Cortez, Yankees 6-0-1 over in Cortez's last 7 starts. Okay, so bet the game over. White Sox lost, the last 56 games when the opponent scores 4+ runs? So they didn't score 4 last night, and that's why the White Sox won.
Right.
Wow. That's no. So
that's a
the
crazy
White Sox
stat,
aren't winning slugfest, right?
No.
Although the game flew over because they scored 12 runs. So, wow. What about the Dodgers and the Brewers? That's at least a good baseball game. What about that one?
That's a good one. Yeah, Kershaw, that starts here in a couple minutes as well. Kershaw pitched well last night, so you got old school Mookie Betts back and everything else. So we got a moment of truth here for the Milwaukee Brewers, right? I don't necessarily like this team or hate this team, no feeling, but I give them a lot of credit. Kind of coming out of nowhere. They lost all their pitchers from the offseason, yet they've been in first place basically from the start. So you got, the Dodgers now finally full strength. Gavin Stone, he's 9-5, but he doesn't pitch well of late. They've lost 5 of his last 6 starts. Colin Ray going for the Brewers. Dodgers, despite the win last night, 2-8 their last 10 games on the road against winning teams. I like the Brewers. I think the Brewers will get one of these games. So I'll play. I played them last night. I'm going to play them again tonight.
Play in the Brewers.
Yeah.
Okay. I like the Brewers tonight. Just that record in Stone starts. Kershaw gave them everything they needed last night. Now, the bullpen will be rested. I don't know if the bullpen being rested is a good thing or bad thing for the Dodgers. They got a lot of like Stone got to get them through at least the 5th. If they got to go to bullpen before that, that might affect the number for tomorrow. So we'll keep an eye on that in game. if the Brewers score first, watch this number jump pretty high. But the Dodgers are a different team with Mookie in the lineup. I mean, he came back yesterday, hit a home run. Mookie's back. The Dodgers are back. We're going to be hearing that We Love LA song constantly. So, I don't know. That's I'm watching that, but right now I'm watching the Marlins beating the Phillies 3-0. That's the game I have on. I'm waiting for the Phillies to get a run. They're being shut out through 5. I mean, nobody saw that one coming.
How about some of these scores that we see right now? How about the A's beating up the Mets 7-1? Last time I checked, is it still 7-1? I mean, holy fudge. Yeah. Mets have now lost 3 in a row, right? They scored 1 run in their last 3 games heading into tonight. They had the off day to kind of get back from the West Coast and get things rectified. They got a pitcher, Paul Blackburn, the former A's. You would think this would be the perfect spot, right? You love to bet on pitchers who are facing their former team. He gets shellacked for 7 runs by Oakland. It's in the 3rd inning. Yikes. This Mets team, I told you, that's why we went under on them. Second half of the season.
You think this is the beginning of an unraveling for the New York Mets?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they got 2 series. They got Oakland, and then they got, I think it's Miami. Another bad. I think it's Miami. Another bad team. And then they have a gauntlet of like 4 tough series. If they don't make hay over the next 6 games, 3 against Oakland, 3 against Miami, then, yeah, they're in a lot of trouble. No hitter watching Boston. We'll check that out next.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deep at receiver. 7 bona fide pass targets. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterbacks.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. He was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the grid. Got a tweet here, Scott Wetzel and Dave Sharapan. How about Chuck Knobloch? I don't ever remember Chuck Knobloch being a San Diego Padre. I was a little off in the night. Minnesota Twins and Stankies, as far as I remember. Maybe some other team after that, but he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn because he had the yips. He was never, literally, he couldn't hit the broadside of the barn at the end of his career. He was never a San Diego Padre, was he?
I don't think so, but we'll have to check.
Yeah. Lock wagers.
I mean,
I
thanks
don't think so.
thanks for the tweet. I just don't know for sure. We'd have to see. I would bet no, but there might be a lost year or two. Me in the late '90s, I was living in the Caribbean, so I saw every baseball game played. I think though while I was down there, so it wasn't then. But I don't know. I wanted to reiterate what you said about the Mets because Vincenzo, our guy's a big Mets fan. There's a lot of Mets fans watching the show. They play the A's right now, 3 games. Marlins, 3 games. Orioles at home, 3 games.
Tough.
Then they go on the gauntlet, West Coast trip. 4 in San Diego, 3 at Arizona, and then 3 at the White Sox.
Okay.
Then they got Red Sox and Reds, and after that. So that 10-day trip is that, these things happen in August. They come out west. The East teams come out west and go on a trip. That'll make or break the season. So they better win these games. And we're not winning today against the A's, but they got to take what? Do they have to sweep? Do you think the Marlins when they come up next? Almost get. They got to win those games.
Yeah, we were talking about this on the podcast too. 4-2 would be acceptable, but realistically, with that schedule coming up, the Orioles play well on the road. San Diego, that's tough. You got to go at least 4-2, but really 5-1. They go 3-3. Unless they won the last 3 games and really kind of turn things around. You can't be that encouraged about them. If they win 1 against Oakland, even 2 against Miami. The National League is it is what it is, though, Dave. I will say this. I think we're going to fast forward literally a month from now, and we're going to get the same teams. They'll be in basically the same position because they're all playing 500 baseball. That's what they are. We say, well, you need to win 4 out of 6 or 5 out of 6. But, if you were able to win 5 out of 6, even against lousy teams, you wouldn't be in the position you're in. You'd be, 5, 6, 7 games up. All these teams, whether it's St. Louis or Pittsburgh or the Mets, Cincinnati, they're all 500 teams. So it's like my big argument about baseball. You don't need 162 games. Like, you could decide who the best team is in 140. Nothing's going to happen in 162 that's not happening in 140. You don't need another 20-plus games. You don't.
I know this. You know this. But they've had 162 for how long now? We're going to mess up the record books. We're going to mess up 50. All this stuff. We play postseason baseball in nicer weather. If we did that, that would be a positive, right? Can you imagine it being done again by the first week of October, like it used to be, not at the end, playing games in Halloween and stuff? I don't know. I think there's a good argument for that, but it's never going to happen. Sorry. If you want, though, I'm just looking at the schedule right now. If you want to pick up Vinny and come on out, maybe we'll go to San Diego, catch a game there with the Mets, and then shoot right down to Arizona. Maybe play a little golf. If you want to go, shoot some hoops. I want to see your jump shot. We'll practice rebounding, get ready for the NBA season so you could get a rebound in a game. And then we'll see the Mets down in Arizona. That's if that sounds like a plan, I'll talk to the big guys, see if we can get you a pass. We'll swing by Vegas on the way home. We'll sign you up for the contest. It's a perfect trip before the kids go back to school back east. I think we should do it.
Yeah. I've been at the Bob, or when it was called the Bob, buddy in Arizona. Playing the Mets, oddly enough, when we saw them play a few years back. 6, 7 years ago. So, but yeah, we all thought college football would never have a 12-team playoff, and we do. Someone's got to go to Major League Baseball's owners and say, listen, you're going to make more money by having expanded postseason instead of these dopey best-of-3 that nobody likes, right? Those are idiotic. We're going to have best-of-7 or at least best-of-5. We're going to have playoffs expanded, maybe throw another team in there if need be, and we're going to make more television revenue on those playoff games than, the last place teams are going to be making in September when there's literally 6,000 people in the stands. So that's a network's going to have to approach them and tell you, listen, we need more playoff games. We can play them every single day. We can have 2 or 3 a day. You know, we can get through the postseason in a month. That's when it's going to change. That's what they did with college football. They finally convinced the people that you're going to make more money with more playoff games than you will with these dopey bowl games. So, but
I don't know.
see.
I just got the alert, by the way. It was Bip Roberts. He was thinking about Bip Roberts, and he said Chuck Knobloch. Bip Roberts, 100% locked on wagers, was a San Diego Padre. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a winner. Yep.
Steve Garvey, late in his career. That kind of reminds me of.
Not in this uniform.
That
was no.
That was
I don't know what
before, too?
happened to you in 1990, 91. You just go zap. That's it. You don't remember nothing.
Like Back to the Future. I went from 88 to 94. Yeah. All right. I thought maybe that was a good one. I was surprised. I thought I had that one. How about I said Templeton. Who was the outfielder that was pretty good? Anyway. Orioles down 7-2. A lot of blowouts tonight. We got Washington leading 7-2. We got the Tigers leading 11-1 over Seattle. Seattle just took 3 for the Mets, and now they're getting crushed. We got the Mets score. Cleveland and the Cubbies, probably the best game. Oh, we got a no-hitter watch in Boston. Bottom of the 5th inning.
Hello.
What do you think? I just jinxed it? No, he's just saying that. No, still no hit. Yeah, through 5, we got a no-hitter. And we'll see about the Rangers starting pitcher. See if he has enough strikeouts to eclipse his total tonight.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deep at receiver. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. You know, he was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, time to get back to the grind. Yes, this is the time when we do our little SGP. We got a ton of baseball going on. We got a number of games starting in a little while, including Arizona and Colorado, the subject of a little SGP time. All right, we got burned last night. Really, two reasons. One, Lords Gurriel ended up not even playing, so that wiped out most of it. But we still would have won a little bit, but we had Arizona laying a run and a half, and they only won by 1. So right back to the well, since we really didn't get a fair shot with it last night. So, listen, as the saying goes, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So, or something like that. Let's go Arizona, Colorado again. We're going to use Arizona again, minus 1.5 runs. Now, a smart guy would probably just take them on the money line, since that's why we lost last night. But you don't get the odds on the money line. So we're laying a run and a half with Arizona, plus 105. Arizona's 22-6 their last 28 games, including 12-2 their last 14. And we know Colorado, this side of the White Sox, are the worst team in baseball on the road. So 12-51 their last 63 road games, in fact, against winning teams as Arizona is. So they're not winning. We're going to use Arizona over 4.5 runs. They've scored 5 runs or more in 7 of their last 9 games. We're going to use Lords Gurriel. I mean, listen, how can you go wrong with a guy named Lords, right? I mean, so he's red hot. He's 5 for his last 10 with 3 runs scored. Has been blistering over his last 3 games. So get a hit, score a run, get 2 bases. And then we're going to throw Colorado in there over 1.5 runs just to bump the odds up as we did yesterday. They're good for 2 runs. So add it all up. Arizona minus a run and a half. Arizona over 4.5 runs. Gurriel to have a big night. Rockies to get at least 2 runs. And it pays plus 467. Not great, but it is what it is.
Did you put all those prices into a parlay calculator, sir? I feel like that was a little light in the payout.
I know. I stopped doing that because it's too depressing. I used to do that all the time, and it would be like, oh, wow, I am really getting ripped off here, aren't I?
You are.
I'm sure I am. I'm sure I am.
The only good thing is if Gurriel doesn't play, then the whole thing should be a refund. So hopefully last night you did get the refund. Listen, the Diamondbacks were down last night, came back. There's something magical going on down in the desert. I lived there in 2001 when it happened. They won the World Series. It was a crazy, crazy season. I was a partial season ticket holder. It was so much fun. I was at Game 7 when they beat the Stankies.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, it was one of the best sports moments in person that I've ever had. That's probably my number 1 or number 2 claim to fame of being at the game. I like this tonight. I mean, I like the Diamondbacks to win. You got to play with that run line and get aggravated again. That's going to be a lot of agita. I hope they blow them out. I just want to see. I mean, today you're in the studio, so I know you got the train ride home. Let's get this thing. I mean, they're facing a lefty. Diamondbacks are really good, 6-1 last 7 versus lefties. Okay. This is the night. I think we could get this. Yeah. I just feel like you should get paid more. I don't. Maybe we'll look at it on the break, but that's. Sometimes you got to play around when you got such a big favorite, and add these things. Right. This is what you do. I think you got a shot.
I'm not sure which I'd rather have. Allow them to put like Gurriel in with all these, or have them just say no. If you got one Gurriel prop, you can't put any more in. I might respect that a little bit more than allowing you to put it in and then only have it bump up, 30, 40 points. That sometimes that can be more frustrating.
Yeah.
I could see them doing that, right? That makes sense.
I would
one
rather,
prop per person.
The book, I would rather not do the correlated stuff. Just because if we're not going to price it right, I don't feel like we would be doing the better justice. Like, I mean, I was always one of the guys in a room, and behind the counter, like, just give them a fair shake. Like, it's enough for them to have to come, make all the picks, put the deposit in. All we do is put up the odds, take the money. So I'm with you. I'd rather not do it than allow it to correlate. But look, they're fun. We do a segment on it every night. People like it.
Yeah, they do. They really do. When we have more time, I'd like to figure. I wonder how they actually figure out what they give you. We get more time, but we'll get into that a little bit. So, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, joins us next with some baseball winners.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deep at receiver. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. You know, he was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. So, real quickly, Dave, I did run the numbers, and you ready? Instead of getting paid the $467 that will pay if this parlay hits, the same game parlay, if you just put in the numbers, it comes out to $21.69, 21.5 to 1.
Wow.
They're taking 75% off our parlay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
so
that was I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that we just said it on the show, but we're just letting you know. And there goes the no-hitter in Boston. Base hit Texas. Boy, you're really jinxing all this stuff. I mean, really, you think you got any shot now with this parlay? I mean, my goodness. We talked about the no-hitter perfect game. It's gone. The same game parlay price gone. Thank goodness we got Dawson waiting in the wings to bring on. Hopefully save the day. Dawson!
Yeah.
Coach, what's up?
What's
Happy
up, Jeff?
belated birthday, by the way. What's up, Scotty?
Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Yeah, that's good. We needed you right now to kind of take a little bit of direction of this segment because Wetzel just jinxed the no-hitter in Boston. Please tell me that you got something going on here for these late games. I mean, you got first carte blanche, just fire away, whatever you'd like.
Well, I did my one play today early was the Red Sox team total over the 5.5. We got that early today, and it went to 4.5 minus 140 to the over. So I was a little nervous, but we got that in. So we're going to have some fun here today. I was listening to you guys about the Rockies. Okay, so I tried to get a little cute here. I like the Rockies' first 5 plus the 146. I'm trying to get in and get out because as we were talking, Scott, backstage, the late games are so hard. Some of these numbers, they've priced us out. So you said, if you put a 2 or 3, big minus money line together, that's one thing. So I'm trying to get in, get out here. You can get the Rockies plus 146 first 5. I can get them even money plus the hook. So get in, get out of there. That was the thought process on the first one there. Padres, too big of a number, obviously. Took them -1.5 full game. And again, -119. I don't run to the window taking home teams in the full run line, full game, because you're only guaranteed the 24 outs. Padres and Diamondbacks, the hottest two teams going right now in the West. I mean, the Dodgers and Phillies, I guarantee you, are super stoked that the playoffs aren't starting, on Monday or something. So two teams you want to stay away from. Giants, again, first five, -109. Pitchers duel last night. Braves win 1-0. I'm hoping my Giants wake up a little, get in, get out again, -109. I think you got a slight pitching edge there in San Francisco. He's been hit or miss, so we'll know early if we're on the right side there. And the last one is so ugly. Again, Angels +100 first five. My overnight number on Gosman was -140. A lot of money's been trickling in on the Angels. Full game now. Gosman and the Jays only -111. Angels +101. I trust the Angels in the first five. I don't trust their back end at all. So, again, another one of these get in and get out guys.
All right, let me ask you about Colorado, because I got Arizona in my SGP. I'm just riding them, not necessarily because of this pitching matchup, but why do you think at least Arizona's going to put up a fight for the first five?
I looked at the overnight numbers. Erod -255 overnight. There was a correction. It's down to 188 now. Gomber, on paper, this is a layup, especially the way the Arizona is playing. I would have respected the 265. It's almost like they're like Dave opened up a window and said, "Hey guys, no running to the window here. We dropped the line down to 188 for you guys, so plenty of time here to come to the window." Gomber versus this lineup in Arizona, and it's less than 200. Something smells here. So again, instead of trying to get tricky in the full game, I was like, hey, maybe we can sneak into the first half. I think this is Erod's second start back. So, this could be over early, Scott, honestly.
All right, before we get to the player props, and I saw you had a full nice menu there, this combo for the San Diego Padres reminds you of who? If you think of a Padre, because Wetzel stopped, like something happened to Wetzel. He doesn't remember the 90s very much. He was foggy. He was actually at the World Series when the Yankees played the Padres, and he couldn't name one Padre that may have worn this uniform. You can't say Tony Gwynn. Who's a Padre that you think of in the blue and orange combo, JD?
Well, obviously, Tony Gwynn was the first name that came to me. The second one would be Hells Bells and Trevor Hoffman. That's what I would have cared to.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay. All right. What do you got? Props. We got the boys ready with the prop menu. I mean, you went deep. You went deep on this thing.
Okay, so the props here is, we always like to say here at ECSI, pizza and beer money. And what we've done and been very successful, guys, here is almost like a home run with the total bases over 1.5 correlation. So if we got a guy with a homer, we're also going to go over and play the over 1.5 total bases. But Jake McCarthy, over 1.5 total bases, we had -110. We did have Kevin Gosman over 5.5 Ks, minus the 120. A stolen base for Zach Nato, +250. He was the shortest number in the American League this tonight on that on the stolen base card there. And then Dalton Varsho +330. I couldn't find a number. They only had a half on his total bases. I'm not laying a mega juice on that. So if you find a -1.5 total bases, take the plus money there. We did have a Manny Machado homer at +50 there for the Padre guys. And then Jorge Soler +1 on the homer, +400, with Ozuna +425. And on the correlations for the total bases there, Soler is +126 over 1.5 bases. Ozuna +110 over 1.5 total bases. And Manny Machado was +105. Over 1.5 bases. And I did. Go ahead.
Do you like the over, JD, in the Atlanta-San Francisco game? I mean, after last night, it was a 1-0 game. Do you like the over there?
Overnight, 8.5 juiced under, -15 cents. Circuit and everyone else went to an 8 over 15. I'm going to roll the ball out tonight. I'm going to say first 1 to 5 wins this. Again, both teams' offenses have not been consistent. We know that. And after last night's, pitches duel, I think tonight you might see some offense on both sides here. So I could see this in that 5-4, 4-4 walk-off homer, double down the line to win it. So I think it sneaks over the 8 tonight.
Yeah, I like that too. Charlie Morton's not been pitching well. 4-0-1 over his last 5 road starts. They've lost all 5 of his last 5 road starts as well. So, Jersey guy, root for him, but he may be coming to the end of his line here. So, I think I know the answer to this from your picks, but the PP, Yanks and White Sox in Colorado and Arizona and Pittsburgh and San Diego, if it's not going to cash, which one's going to lose?
Well, Dave, I think, knows this answer because if you took 100 bets on the Yankees yesterday, those 100 people are coming back and doubling back on the Yankees today because they're not going to lose 2 games in a row. So I'll throw the big, slow Ephus pitch here and shock the world. The Yankees lose 2 in a row and they don't get jazzed up because Jazz is on the IL.
Wow. Could you imagine? Oh, they were making fun of him here in New York, man. If they actually lost 2 in a row, wow, that would be something. That really would. I'd almost enjoy that. It ruined my parlay, but I'd almost enjoy that. Jeff, great job. EastCoastSportsInvestors.com. Check out his website. Thanks, Jeff.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deep at receiver. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. He was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
Hey, welcome back. InGame Live, PrimeTime on the grid. Again, thanks to Jeff Dawson. EastCoastSportsInvestors.com. Check out his website that he runs and owns, and feel free to delve into some of his picks that he offers up. So back to the baseball board, Dave. Let's see. With the last time we checked, the Red Sox had a no-hitter, perfect game, as a matter of fact, going. Something tells me that is no longer the case. We put the black cloud on it.
Boy, did you ever. The perfect game gone, the no-hitter gone, the shutout gone, The bullpen's in. It's 6-2. The bases are loaded for the Rangers. 1 out in the top of the 6th. This was far from over, Wetzel. This one is far from over. So, although the total closed what? Let's see. It might already be over the total.
I think 10.
Nope.
I think it was 10 today.
10. Yeah. In-game total's 11.5. Wow. I don't normally say this, but I think the over might be the way to go. If they end up with a base hit here, this is going to be a big number. Yeah, we're far from done scoring.
Wow. I know I have one game that's done. I'll tell you that. Detroit 15-1 over the Seattle Mariners. That is wow. Now you got 16 top of the 7th. You could bet the over 17.5 if you think you're going to get 2 more runs, although they're juicing it to minus 164. I tell you, it's kind of goofy, Dave, but the National League West is on fire, right? Dodgers playing well, Padres and Arizona playing great, yet the antithesis of that is the National League East, where you got the Braves losing left and right, you got the Mets who can't hit their way out of a paper bag, they're losing again, and you got the Phillies losing again tonight. 4-0 at home, no less, to the Miami stinking Marlins. I mean, what is going on with the National League East? All these teams. I mean, since the All-Star break, Philadelphia's been, outside of that little 3-game set against the Dodgers, other than that, that they can't buy themselves a win. I mean, is this a fluke, or are these teams just not that good, and the World Series champ, or at least the NL representative, is going to come out of the NL West?
This is one of those ones where, like in the book, you can't overreact to this. Baseball, there's still a lot of games left to be played. A lot of high leverage baseball games left to be played. Pretty tough sometimes to get excited about the Marlins coming into town, right? Like, it's just one of those things, I think, naturally. No disrespect toward the Marlins. I mean, they got uniforms. They're a major league team. Their guys are getting paid too. So I just think naturally you see these ebbs and flows, right? It's really good teams playing really bad teams, and the bad teams are winning the games. Yankees lose to the White Sox yesterday. The Nationals are beating up the Orioles today. It happens. And I know we didn't adjust the numbers in the book, overly adjust them, because just as quick as they can lose 2 or 3 as big favorites, they can win 3 or 4 as big favorites. So the good teams are established at this point, and we'll keep an eye on it. I used to love, again, one of my favorite things to do was to adjust the futures and different things based on what someone might bet. Like, listening to you talk about it, if it was our joint, we'd be going to get the Mets money right now. And we did this in the past. I mean, I've been waiting for the Mets to win, do well in the playoffs for years. But when they get hot, you move the number up and let them bet them and take the money. And then you get the September swoon. And I'm not picking on Vinny and his team, but they just don't win. Yeah, it's not personal. It's just, right? It's just one of those things, Wetzel.
They're done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Done?
I think the National League East is done. Braves have the only excuse just because of all their injuries. Mets, they overachieved a little bit. They had a good run, but they're a 500 team, right? They're not going anywhere. Phillies are the one that you can laugh at. They're the ones that you can make fun of because they had – but we had this pegged. I told you this Philadelphia team, second half of the season, they were a 500 club against winning teams first half of the season. They were playing a bunch of lousy teams, and then they won the games. But I don't think their pitching staff is all that great. I'm not a big Wheeler fan, and Nola's okay, and the Sanchez. They are what they are. They're just overrated. They're getting their butt kicked. They're being shut out by some guy, Vicente Balazzo. What is a Vicente Balazzo? He's pitching shutout base in Philadelphia. I just bet the Phillies plus 3.5 runs. They're down 4-0, bottom 8.
What was the guy? Listen, I bet the Yankees last night plus 1.5 runs while we were on the show. That made me feel good. I finished 12-2. Sometimes good bets don't win. Sometimes bad bets lose too. It's fine. Soto just hit a home run. Yankees are up 2-0 in the third. So cash the tickets if
All
you
right.
had Juan Soto to the home run. Yankees will
come the
probably get
Rangers.
healthy tonight, right?
Yeah.
One New York team wins, the other one loses, whatever. Yankees are on the way tonight.
You would think, right? I mean, that's where, the old, it's due comes in. I'm like, you can't lose 2 in a row to the Tigers.
They could.
I think they would fire Aaron Boone. I really, if they lose 2 of 3, if they got swept, could you imagine if they got swept? Oh, my goodness. Oh, I'd pay for that. I really would. But, yeah, they'll probably win. So 2-0. Now, listen, it was 1-0 last night, so it's you can still grab the White Sox plus 420 if you want to. It is Nestor Cortez who isn't any good on the road, but it's better at home. And it's not a good night for favorites outside of the Stanky game, right? Baltimore big favorite at home against Washington, losing. Philadelphia big favorite at home against Miami, losing. Mets big favorite at home against Oakland, losing. All the others were basically pick 'em. 7-4. Here come the Metsies. Bottom of the 5th inning. Only plus 220. I'm going to bet the Mets. Sorry, Vinny. Let me put the black.
Are you trying to put
Mets.
it on them?
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Wow.
Plus 240. They got a little mojo going here. It was 7-0 or 7-1, right? 7-4 now.
Black Cloud is next, right? Black Cloud?
Black Cloud, the official Black Cloud is next, yeah. That's the biggie. That's the real biggie. We lost last night. We'll win tonight.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're legit 5 deep at receiver. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. He was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back InGame Live, PrimeTime on the Grid. Finishing up hour number 1 of our 2-hour extravaganza. A lot more baseball to get to. In hour number 2, we'll do a little golf as well. Brady Cannon will join us in about 20 minutes or so. Then we got Cam Stewart in about 40 minutes or so doing some baseball. Maybe a little football, who knows, and golf as well with both of those guys. But in the meantime, yes, time to pick out the absolute best, without a shadow of a doubt, play that's left on the board, our Black Cloud play of the day. This incorporates a couple of our favorite little sayings and systems. Black Cloud, we're going to head out to San Diego, where the Fathers host the Pittsburgh Pirates, the slumping Pittsburgh Pirates. So we're going San Diego. Not going to get burned like we did last night, laying a run and a half. You know what? You don't have to. Just lay the minus 225. San Diego's won 15 of their last 18 games, 15-3. You got the Pirates, on the other hand, that have lost 8 in a row. You know the saying, winners bet with streaks, losers bet against streaks. Greatest sports axiom of all time. We got Pittsburgh 0-9 against right-handed pitchers their last 9 times, and we got a pitcher going who's right-handed for the Padres tonight. I mean, everything. You got a slumping team and a red-hot team. There's no way San Diego can lose this game at home. Padres, double your normal unit, maybe even triple it. This is like Hawaii at home against San Jose State. Double the play. Let's have some fun. Padres minus 225.
Oh, I put the glasses on for this one because if this one doesn't come in, we're going to need glasses. I mean, we're going to need we're going to need to hide because, I mean, I got guys that literally watch this for when we do the show every night. I met some great guys over the weekend. I told you, nicknamed the Bomber and the Shrew, and they said we wait for that Wetzel Black Cloud play of the night. They both texted me last night and said we're in, we're going over, and they both texted me this morning and said, well, geez, it was 1-0.
What happened?
I mean, if that's the way you're going to lose, that's the way you're going to lose. You even got the producers on board with this, but the producers had to get cute. What are they doing?
Laying a run and a half.
Uh-oh.
No guts, no glory. I don't like laying a run and a half with the Padres. They're not that good of a hitting team. Although they got this rookie who's going to, I got to tell you what, this guy's been like hanging in the weeds here, but what's-his-face has been on fire. Your guy, Skeens, might not be the rookie of the year. That was like an absolute foregone conclusion when you talked about Paul Skeens, right? It was just going to be whether he's going to win the Cy Young as well. Meanwhile, you got this dude from San Diego who's hitting 290. He's got like 20 home runs, close to it, over 60 RBIs. No one's talking about it. Well, they are now. But, he could very easily get the Rookie of the Year, especially if something goofy happens and the Padres win the division or at least get into playoffs and Pittsburgh doesn't, right?
Yeah, Jackson Merrill. He is
Jackson Merrill, that's it. I keep on thinking like
electricity.
thinking someone else. I keep on thinking Jerson Profar for some reason, but Jackson Merrill.
Well, he's also on the Padres, so that's okay.
I know. That's why I keep on thinking
the file's working. This is good.
Right.
I mean, this is not like the 90s file, which is completely closed up there in your head. So
this file's working because you can't pull the drawer out, that's all. But the file's there. It's just now you just can't pull the drawer out. Yeah.
The kids don't even know what we're talking about. We're talking about actual file cabinets, boys and girls. Yeah. You open and close them, not some file on your phone that you open up with the push of a button.
Right.
No, San Diego, look, I mean Jackson Merrill, he is so much fun to watch. I've been watching him all summer. He could win this thing. Skeens, the Pirates could shut him down. The way this losing streak is going, they may just say, right, like end of August, like, look, we're X number of games out. We can't catch anybody. Shut him down. We're going to play for next year. So if that happened,
would they let him pitch knowing that he might not get the Rookie of the Year though? Would that be enough to keep him pitching?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll find out. I'll ask around. I'll find out. Sometimes those individual awards don't matter to the team, and they explain it like that. Like, hey, we'd love for you to win, but your innings requirement is this. So, shutting it down. I don't know. But they're not shutting Merrill down. The Padres aren't shutting it. I mean, they're coming. They can still win the division. Hopefully they win tonight by 2 for the producers.
By 2. Exactly. 2 or more. With Gurriel, 2 or more. That's it. All right, hour number 2 coming up.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're legit 5 deep at receiver. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. You know, he was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And he was, someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
And welcome in. It's InGame Live, Prime Time on the Grid, SportsGrid Radio, SportsGrid. Well, actually, it's SportsGrid TV for now. Yours truly, Scott Wetzel, along with Dave Sharapan until 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We got Brady Cannon coming up in about 15 minutes. We'll do a little golf, a little baseball with him. Then we got Cam Stewart, bottom of the hour. He's got his full golf slate, and then no doubt a little baseball chat with him as well. In the meantime, Dave and I will take you a little baseball, a little NFL action as well. Always like to keep an eye on the football season, Dave. We had preseason week number 1. We got preseason week number 2 coming up. We're going to kind of isolate on each division over the next couple of weeks. And tonight we're going to take a look at the AFC North, where, well, I tell you what, this really should be a fun division, you know, without having really a dog in a fight. I know you're obviously a Steelers fan, but I like Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's going to be the best team, but boy, if you told me the Browns would win or the Steelers would win or obviously the Ravens or Bengals, I wouldn't be surprised that, you know, this is just going to be every one of these games, no matter who's facing who, it's going to be must-see TV. I'm really looking forward to the AFC North this year.
Dare we say it's the best division in football? I think it's the best division in football because not only because of the mystery at the top and the quality of the top, but the Steelers season wins is 8.5. I mean, there's not another division in football where the last team in the division is sitting at 8.5 wins per season wins. So this will be good. I think Baltimore should be the favorite and is the favorite. I don't know what Cincy is yet. I really don't. And I love Joe Burrow. I got Joe Burrow glasses. I made him part of my life. I love everything about him, what he does. Love the way he plays. I don't know what he is yet and how healthy he is. So, I mean, and I have no idea. How do you feel about the Steelers quarterback situation right now?
I'm confident. You know, I've never been the biggest Russell Wilson fan. It's funny, you know, when he was with Seattle, I always said he's overrated, you know. And then he went to Denver, like, okay, that's pretty good. And, you know, if you look at his numbers last year, that they weren't horrible. They were actually pretty good. But it was just a dink and dunk offense. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think Justin Fields stinks. So I don't expect anything out of him. I think it'll be Russell Wilson's show, and I think he'll do okay. Now, listen, I did read on the internet, and listen, it's Twitter, so you know, take it for what it is. But supposedly Pittsburgh's kind of getting back involved in the Brandon Ayuk situation, and Ayuk only wants to play for the Steelers. I mean, how much would the line change, and how much would your hopes change if they end up trading for Brandon Ayuk and not giving up, a ton as far as players are concerned?
Well, I think, as a fan, it would be fantastic, and I think Steeler fans would love it. Would it move the number? I don't know if it would move the number. I don't think it would move much as far as like season wins, or it might shave the division numbers. But there's the schedule right there, and when you look at it, the back end of that schedule: Cleveland, Cincy, Cleveland, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals. That's a tough stretch. They got to get a lot of wins early because they're going to have a lot of tough games late. I don't know. You and this Russell Wilson, you really think he's going to be the starter? I actually prefer Fields right now, but what do I know? I'm on here with you every night. I'm not qualified to make, starting quarterback position things. But
he stinks.
Pickens,
I am. He's awful.
Oh, you add this to your resume? You actually are a guy that can do personnel changes?
Yes, a part-time consultant, yes. I get to classify who guys stink or not, and he stinks. He's not going to
So you like Cincy? You said you like Cincy to win the division?
I do. I like Joey B. Big Joe Burrow fan. 10.5's a big number, but it's 11-6 when everything is said and done. I think they're the best team in that division when healthy. I think they would have won it last year. I don't have any faith in Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. Although I must say, Derrick Henry, boy, I tell you, if he's got anything left, and he's pretty good last year. That is a pretty good offense, right? That Ravens, but they still can't throw the ball. They can't win in the postseason. How many games did Tennessee win in the postseason, right? Got to be able to throw the football in the postseason, and Lamar can't do it. So give me Cincinnati. I like the over 10.5. 11-6 won't be easy, but they're more than capable. They won in San Francisco last year, so they can win anywhere. So a lot of teams don't play well on the road, Dave, but Cincinnati does. So I'm okay with the over 11.5.
Crazy. The Steelers won both games against the Ravens last year, and the Ravens still were the 1 seed, right? I don't know. I look at the Ravens and them adding him to all of it. I really like the Ravens. And it's not pain me to say because yes, I'm from Pittsburgh. It's nighttime in Pittsburgh behind me all the time. Ravens earned the right to be the odds-on favorite in the division, in the conference. It's going to be hard to go to Baltimore and win 11.5, same season win total. Okay. They are going to be, I don't know, tested early, right? The Kansas City game, they played Dallas, they played Buffalo, they played the Bengals in the first 5 weeks. So stretch right there. We're going to know early about Lamar. And is he in the MVP talk again for you at the beginning? Or is this one of those things that ramps up?
No, he's got to be there, right? He deserves it. He's that whole offense. Again, be curious to see what they do with Derrick Henry this year. Do they take the load a little bit off Lamar, and just they love to run the football, right? Got to bet all the unders, but yeah, he's definitely deserving of being in the MVP stuff. And then you got the Browns. Listen, the Browns, they've never been to a Super Bowl, so chances are they're never going to get there. And their schedule is tough as well. Look at the back end of their schedule, right? Oh my God, you talk about a war. So, but I like the Browns team. I'm a believer in Deshaun Watson, but there are a couple quarterbacks, and he's one of them that this is it for him. Not that he'd be at a football day, but the thought of Deshaun Watson being a really good quarterback, if he doesn't come through this year, then that was just a complete waste by the Browns. Just a complete waste.
Well, I think they're feeling the pressure to make that happen like that. But at the same time, I'm impressed with their defense. I think they're going to be in a lot of games, right? So all of that being said, and I just got the text from my Cleveland guys, the Bomber and the Shrew. They're watching the show right now. They're hyped up. Cleveland is hyped up. I mean, it's not just the Guardians who are up 2-1 in the top of the ninth with Class A coming on, but the Browns. And then, these guys are Ohio State guys too. This could be a really big year in Cleveland. It could happen. It's not going to happen with the Cavs. So it might happen.
No.
I mean, is that plus 450 live? Would it surprise you if the Browns won the division?
No. But they better get off to a good start. Like a lot of these teams in the NFC North, outside of Pittsburgh, boy, it's the back end of their schedule that is just like that. They finish up in reverse order, but Baltimore, Miami, Cincinnati, Kansas City, at Pittsburgh. And then they play Pittsburgh 2 weeks before that. That's, they start the season. Dallas, but at home. All right, who knows what the Cowgirls are going to be like, with CeeDee Lamb maybe playing, maybe missing a game. That this might be the one. At Jacksonville, that's winnable. Then the Giants and Raiders and, I was going to say Redskins, Commanders.
Whoa.
So that's first five there is knowing the back end, they better get at least 3 wins, if not 4. It'd be 4-1, right?
Yep. I think we'll have meaningful football in Cleveland in December. I don't know who the quarterback will be. We might see some Jameis time.
I believe in Watson. I think Watson will be there. All right, Brady Cannon, golf talk, baseball talk coming up next.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deep at receivers. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. He was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, PrimeTime on the grid. Talking some football, a little baseball as well. Scott Wetzel and Dave Sharapan, joined now by our good buddy Brady Cannon, who you hear and see all the time here on the grid. What's going on, Brady? How are you on this Tuesday evening?
Doing great, gentlemen. Of course, football right around the corner. Dave, you and I just come off a Bet Bash here in Las Vegas. That's really a nice springboard into the football season. Baseball getting towards the postseason. We love that. And it's the postseason for golf as well.
Oh, yeah. So we saw each other 3-4 times down, down at the joint during the week. There's a lot of buzz about football season. We just finished the segment about the AFC North. It's nighttime in Pittsburgh behind me. Listen, just give it to me straight. Let's start with this. How do you feel about the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh? And is this going to be the first season that Tomlin doesn't go 500?
I feel fine and no. I think I heard you guys come in and you were talking about the Browns. And you asked, Dave, would you be surprised, Scott, if the Browns won the division? Me personally, not at all. I think arguably the best roster in the division. And I'm with you, Scott. I was on Cleveland last year. And you may remember this talking to me last year, Scott. I had preseason futures on them to win the conference, to win the division actually, I think it was just conference and season win total. And I think we cashed the season win total. Obviously, they didn't win the conference, but that was really based upon Deshaun Watson playing well. You look at the rest of their roster, that team is loaded. Arguably the best offensive line in football. The Lions might have something to say about that, but it's a offensive line. Nick Chubb coming back. You lost him last year to injury as well. You add Jerry Jeudy. I think this team's really good, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's them in Pittsburgh battling it out. I think the Ravens fall off. They've lost some pieces in the offensive line. I'm still not convinced that they have the greatest receiving core in the world. I know Mark Andrews is exceptional, and the young kid, the guy they got, the real speed demon last year. But, can that take care of all your problems? A 30-year-old Derrick Henry, I do not think is the answer at all. And the Bengals, it just seems like ever since that Super Bowl run, it's been a Burrow injury or lack of production out of Joe Mixon, who's no longer even there. So I don't know. I think the Browns and the Bills, the Browns and the Steelers at very sexy prices to win the division are better plays than the alternative. And it looks like somebody's, reading our mail here as far as the Browns, because I swear just last week that number was closer to 6-1, now down to plus 450. And out here in Las Vegas, I've seen still better than 5-1. So I think there's still some very good numbers you can get on both the Browns and the Steelers.
All right, if it's not going to be Kansas City in the Super Bowl out of the AFC, then who would it be? Cleveland obviously is one of your choices, but give me two or three that might break through.
Well, I've already made a bet on the Jets to win the AFC East. I think the Bills are due for a slip. I'm really not sold on Miami. I think they regress. I think they've lost some pieces. I still don't think the offensive line has enough. I think everybody can agree the Patriots might be the worst or one of the worst teams in the NFL. So, a healthy Aaron Rodgers with a team that has added pieces. You hope you can get the Hassan Reddick thing worked out, but I don't think they're a bad bet at 2-1 to win that division. And then, you see what happens in the tournament from there. The AFC West, I'm not really sold on anybody other than Kansas City. The AFC South, the same thing there. I mean, the Texans are really loaded, but I kind of hate that everybody knows about them now. They snuck up on people last season. I would say, it comes from the AFC North or the AFC East if it's not the Chiefs.
So you're in Vegas. I'm in Vegas. We're literally like maybe 8 minutes apart. If I really get going, I might just walk over and we can discuss this, but we might as well do it because we're both here. The Raiders quarterback situation is actually being discussed, BK, like Minshew may not be the quarterback. AOC is real. Any insight into that? Because I think that might affect the way people are going to bet the season wins. As soon as they say it, if they say it one way, I think you're going to get an up. And if they say it another way, I think you're going to get it down on the number.
I think that's really insightful, Dave. And I think you could be spot on. Now, I'm not positive. It sounds like you're hinting that they would bet the over if they go with O'Connell. And I don't know if I disagree with you, because I don't think either quarterback really moves the needle that much for me. And if you go with a younger guy who we haven't seen as much from, who is bound to be improved from what we've seen, last season, maybe there's more upside there. I would agree with that angle. But the Raiders don't, like I say, I'm not really thrilled with. I think the defense has improved. I think the offensive line is fine. I'm not sure about the running game. They looked good in a preseason game, and we can't get too excited about that. The Vikings, the reserves for the Vikings were apparently better than the reserves for the Raiders. But the starters, it was the other way around. You've got two great tight ends. I just don't know. The quarterback, obviously the most important position, and I don't know if there's a ton to get excited about as far as their chances in the division or competing with the Chiefs. But yeah, as far as the season win total, I think if O'Connell becomes the guy, then it's more of an over than it would be with Minshew.
Buying into Bo Nix having a great performance for the Denver Broncos this weekend. 5.5 the Broncos total.
I am, Scott. I think that number was probably too low to begin with. And I think Bo Nix was a guy that just kind of proved to me, at least, and I'm no quarterback whisperer or scout or anything like that, but I kind of found it odd that, half of the room seemed to be down on this guy coming into the draft. I mean, he's got an incredible history in college. He's got lineage as far as family. He's obviously a tremendous athlete, played really well at Oregon. I wasn't really surprised to see him do well. I'm happy for him. So, yeah, I think, and again, you slow down. You don't want to react too quickly to this stuff, but I think he'll be better than people thought. A lot of people thought.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I same thing, Brad. I really was surprised that he was slipping in the draft with a lot of prognosticators. So, and he ended up going late, obviously. So, Brady, great job, man. Appreciate a couple minutes with you. We'll do it again soon.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deep at receiver. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. He was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live Prime Time here on the grid. Silly me, didn't know. We had Brady Cannon for another segment. Do a little baseball talk. How about that? See, the gift keeps on giving. Welcome back, Brady. All right.
Well, you said you'd talk to me very soon, so you weren't lying.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
How about the late games tonight? Getting underway in just a couple of moments. Got any plays on those?
I did. And this is, kind of a square bear play, but I can't get off of these teams, the Diamondbacks and the Padres. And it's expensive to lay $2 or minus 250 in the case of the Padres. And yeah, I parlayed them. You're going to get even money, maybe better, plus 105, plus 110. And they're playing two teams. Sorry, Dave, but your Pirates have lost 8 in a row. No reason to back them. The Colorado Rockies, we know, are not nearly the same team on the road as they are at home, and they're not very good wherever they play. And you've got the two hottest teams in baseball here going. So I took a small little play with a 2-team parlay on the Padres and the Diamondbacks. As far as the Blue Jays and the Angels, I think both of those teams are really difficult to figure out. But Gausman, if you look at his ERA compared to his xFIP, his xFIP is better than his ERA. So he's probably actually pitching better than some of his numbers might tell you. Whereas the other side, Fulmer, his xFIP is a lot higher than his ERA, like a full run. So I think he's pitching a lot worse than it might look like on the surface. So, if I was going to do anything with that game, I'd probably play the short favorite there. But gosh, do you ever want to lay a price with the Blue Jays on the road? That one's real tough. But I'm going to try and, just ride the horses that have been going here lately and also fade the horse that hasn't been going lately in the Pirates and play the Diamondbacks and the Padres in a 2-teamer.
BK, you and the boys have been doing some serious ball striking with the golf stuff. And you know how much I love the ball strikers. I know it's only Tuesday, and I know, you probably got the column already teed up if it's not out already. But I know you've been doing the work with the golf. FedEx, St. Jude, any early thoughts on a Tuesday going into this week?
Yeah, the golf team here, Cam Stewart, Keith Stewart, Mike Carver. I mean, it seems like one of us, if not more than one of us, is hitting an outright each week. And lately it's been those guys more so than me. But the LIV is back in action this week, too. That's where I've been doing really well this week. But I'll start with the PGA Tour. Of course, we're into the postseason. I played 5 outrights. I started with Colin Morikawa at 14-1, Hideki Matsuyama at 28. And then I went to Russell Henley at 35-1. Billy Horschel, who's been really hot as of late and has a great history at this tournament, got him at 48-1. And then a long bomb, Ben Griffin at 130-1. And I've actually seen him higher than that. And, there's only 70 players in the field, Dave and Scott, and all those guys, I think, make a bunch of sense this week. But the elephant in the room is I stayed away from the big 3, Scheffler, Rory, and Xander. I'm just hoping that one of those guys doesn't beat me.
All right, I'll bite. Why Ben Griffin? FanDuel's got him at 150-1.
Yeah, well, he's a tremendous, like Dave likes to say, ball striker. 4th in this field over the last 24 rounds for strokes gained approach, and he can really putt. And he finished 7th last week, and he was 5th in July at the John Deere. So the form is good. The course fit is good. Now, it's Ben Griffin. I know he's not Scheffler and Schauffele. He's not a luminary. He's not an absolute stud, and that's why he's a big long shot. He's competing against the best in the world. So certainly it's going to be harder for him to get it done this week against some of these lighter fields where he's really had success. But, you never know. And I thought, again, the course fit, the course form, he's worth a shot. As far as the LIV circuit, even a smaller field there, they're at America's Resort, the Greensboro. And they have, of course, only 54 players in the field. In this case, I did go with some chalk. I did not go all the way to the top to Jon Rahm because I think he could still be smarting from that collapse in France when Scotty took it. Oh, my goodness. And I was, of course, on him that week. But just the next step down, I took Bryson DeChambeau at 7-1 and Joaquin Niemann. Niemann won here as a member of the PGA Tour in 2019. DeChambeau won here last year when the LIV was here. And then another bomb on the LIV Tour, 40-1 on Abraham Answer this week at LIV Greenbrier.
That's one of those ones he's been around. The Answer play has been around. We were on him in the PGA, and then he went to the LIV. That's good. Who do you think of when you see this Padre uniform? You can't say Tony Gwynn.
Give me Joe Musgrove. I don't know.
Joe Musgrove. There you go. But that's recent time.
Thanks,
Freddie.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deep at receivers. 7 bona fide pass targets. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. You know, he was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, PrimeTime on the Grid. Thanks to Brady Cannon for joining us, as he does from time to time here on InGame Live. Cam Stewart will join us in about 10 minutes or so. We'll go over some of his golf picks and some of his baseball plays as well. So far, the PP holding up. Stanky's doing their end of the bargain. The 2 other games get underway in about 5-10 minutes here, Dave. But the Yanks on top 3-0 over the White Sox. So laying minus 25-1, which is goofy, obviously. 7.5 is your total. Nestor Cortez actually pitching well. So after getting shellacked last night, worst loss, well, I don't know about the worst loss, but the best win for the White Sox all season, as you would think, 12-2. So that was the biggest lead they had all season, and that was their best win over the Yanks. So a lot of blowouts tonight. We got Minnesota 11-3 over Kansas City. A's 9-4 now over the Mets. See, those games are tough to bet. I mean, if you had to, you can, obviously. But bottom 8, Red Sox 6-4 over Texas. Both Sox with a couple of runners on first and third, looking to blow that one open. Dodgers even 7-1 over the Brewers tonight. Bottom of the 5th inning. We're getting a real look at the real Dodgers. So, all right, so let's go to the 9:40 games here. I do like Toronto. I know it's an ugly game, Toronto and the LA Angels, but Gossman's been pitching really well. Toronto's won his last 5 starts. There's a reason why they're a minus 120 favorite on the road. Angels are atrocious, right? So Toronto's played a little bit better of late. I like the Blue Jays here, minus 120.
No real opinion. This is one of those ones you kind of just let go. This might be the lowest handle game of the night.
Really?
Yeah, because of the time slot. You know, it's one of those ones. It's late, and it's overshadowed by the 2 other games with good teams and things that people want to bet, like bigger favorites. You put up 2 teams like the Angels and the Blue Jays, and you go, I don't know. Gossman, small favorite on the road. I don't know. Angels, I'm not getting enough. So, yeah, I don't really have a strong opinion about it at all, and I think it'll be one of those ones that kind of just passes by in the night, because there's some better games. Yep.
All right, I'm going to go with Toronto. Like I said, they've won his last 5 starts. He's pitching a little bit better, 10-8. He's a halfway decent pitcher, and the Angels stink, if anything else. So, Atlanta, San Francisco, Charlie Morton versus Kyle Harrison. Morton has not pitched well of late. Atlanta did win last night, 1-0. They've still lost 7 of their last 9. They've still given up 64 runs in their last 8 games. Harrison 7-1 in his last 8 games at home. Well, the Giants are in his last 8 home starts. So you got a pitcher who's lost his last 5 road starts against a pitcher who's won 7 of his last 8 home starts. It's Pick'em. I don't know. It seems to me I got to go with San Francisco here.
Crazy. Did you see how big the smart projection has the Braves percentage? I mean, that's a big number for picking a pick'em game. 71%. Seems like a little bit extra.
They had the Yankees, too. They had the Yankees last night, too.
Yesterday, overly exaggerated.
Poking fun at the computer.
K-prop over for Morton. The Giants struck out a lot. So expect K-prop over for Morton. My lean is to the Braves. I don't know. I think I saw enough last night swing and misses in that game. Maybe that's clouding my judgment, but I kind of like under. I don't like either offense. So nothing strong, but like lean Atlanta under for me.
All right. Colorado, monster underdog at Arizona. Austin Gomber 3-8. He stinks, right, for Colorado. Eduardo Rodriguez, remember the former Red Sox, former Detroit Tiger, had some issues. Back pitching out for Arizona. He did win his his first start of the season. We all know Arizona 22-6 last 28, 12-2 their last 4. They're pitching great. Colorado stinks on the road, 17-44. Arizona rallied to win last night, albeit by just 1. I'm not going to lay the 2.5 to 1, whatever you got there. I'll lay the 1.5 and take my chances. Arizona does win by 2 runs this time.
Yeah, that's not a bad play. I like the way JD took the first 5 with the Rockies.
Right.
They get out to a quick lead like they did last night, and then the bullpen comes in and whoosh, disappear. Nothing in her run of to get in front of Arizona.
All right, Pittsburgh taking on San Diego, right? So you know the deal. Pirates have lost 8 straight. They've lost 9 straight against right-handed starting pitchers. You got 5-2 Luis Ortiz on the hill for the Pirates. 9-6 Michael King, pretty good pitcher. You don't hear too much about for the San Diego Padres. Pittsburgh 29-31 on the road. That's halfway decent. San Diego's only 31-29 at home. They pitch much better, or they play much better on the road than they do at home. But Padres 15-3, Dave. Their last 18 games. It's tough to make a case. Although I do like this Luis Ortiz guy. He's pitched very well, right?
Yeah, hold on. I'm pausing here. We got people joining the feed. So, yeah, he's pitched well. When he doesn't pitch well, he gets blown out early. Padres first 5, right? This is, he either pitches well into the 7th or a couple runs and then boom, you're in big trouble. So,
okay.
Listen, Brady said it. Jeff said it. Even the producers are piling on. It's Padres or nothing. I can't.
Yeah.
You just bet against the Pirates until they lose. Until they win and beat you.
Right.
Producers piling on with the run line. You may have gotten a little greedy there, boys. We'll see. Padres' money line is the Black Cloud play of the night. We'll see the power of the Black Cloud. It's all right there. I asked everybody that's been on tonight who they think of when they see this combination uniform for the Padres. And on the break, I pulled up. I'm going to give you the roster from the team that you saw play in the World Series. See if this jogs any memories of what you were doing in the 90s. All right, you ready? Catching, Brad Ausmus. Playing first base,
former
Eddie Williams. I don't know who Eddie Williams is.
Eddie Williams. That's
I don't remember.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah. Second base, Bip Roberts. Good call, locked on wagers. Third base, Scott Livingston. He must have been playing some instead of Cam and Eddie. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ricky Gutierrez at shortstop. He only played 90 games there.
I remember him.
Left field, Phil Plantier.
Yes.
Center field, Derek Bell. Okay.
Yep, pretty good player.
And right
Former
field,
Astro.
Tony Gwynn. Yeah, right field, Tony Gwynn. Now, the bench is like, I don't even know any of the guys on the bench. The starting pitching, Andy Bennis.
Yep, Andy Bettis. Got his rookie
Andy
cards.
Ashby.
Yep, pretty good pitcher.
That's a good one, too. They rode those guys all the way to World Series. Scott Sanders was the third starter. And then, of course, Hall of Famer Trevor Hoffman was on that team.
Not exactly
another
a
guy
World
who
Series
was kind
team.
of just starting his career out. It says Pedro Martinez. Was Pedro Martinez on that team?
No.
Not
No,
that guy.
he
Different
came over to
Pedro.
Montreal. Different Pedro, yeah. Like, you wouldn't, out of all the rosters that I would not say that's a World Series team, right?
No.
I know all those players, but none of them really, outside of Tony Gwynn, really. Bettis was a pretty good pitcher for a couple of years. But really, there's not that much. Boy, how did that team make the World Series? Wow. All right. But they did. But that's why they got swept, of course. So, I was there.
You don't
I don't
even
remember.
remember.
But I was there. I really was. Let's see if Cam Stewart remembers that team when we come back in Game Live Prime Time.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're legit 5 deep at receivers. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. He was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time on the grid. A lot of blowouts in baseball, so a good time to check in with our good buddy Cam Stewart, who's got a fistful of golf winners and some baseball winners for the late games, I'm sure, as well. What's going on, Cam? How are you tonight?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Oakland beating the Mets. Nationals beating the Orioles. Dogs. Take a look at all the Phillies. Didn't they get shut out by the Marlins? These are the biggest favorites on the board. This is a time to back dogs. I know it's hard to do for some people. Even for me sometimes, David, I'm born with a pooch. I should have been a dog or a bear, not a human. I'm going to tell you this. This is the time. You got all these call-ups. Dave knows his kids play baseball. Hungry guys, Scott. This is the whole thing. People are like, oh, yeah, this team's rolling out their guys. I would rather take a bunch of guys from AAA that are hungry, who need money, who need another contract. Like, look at this guy who got called up for the Jays, Wagner. You know he's the son of Billy Wagner, great closer for the Houston Astros or whatever. This guy, like first game, like 3 hits. Like all these young guys, like that's why I took the Jays last night. The only guy in the lineup that was like a veteran was Guerrero. Everybody else was a kid, and they won. This is the thing. Dave knows this too. His kids play baseball. He's been around baseball. It's a different sport. This doesn't happen in football. In hockey, it happens a little bit. Like for the first couple of games, you get that bump, like where you're really jacked up, and then eventually it comes down to earth. But baseball, it could last a while. If these kids like each other and play well. Anyway, I'm just saying this is a dog season. And I saw your dark cloud of the night, which is the opposite of a dog.
Hold on.
It's more of a chihuahua. But, I still love Wetzel.
We already had some.
He's my guy.
Brady came on, or no, Jeff Dawson. Somebody came on and picked against the Black Cloud. That's allowed. That's okay. Toronto and the Angels tonight. Like, it's not a big number. It's not a big favorite. It's Gaussman. What do you think about Toronto and the Angels tonight? So I think it's a hard game to pick a side.
I like the Jays, but more than the Jays, I like the under in this spot. Gaussman pitched pretty well against Baltimore in his last spot. The Jays, they'll find ways. Like they're gonna have a couple of guys that are hungry, get some runs, but that total at 9, Dave, I'd go under the number. That's what I did with this game. I took the Jays in the under. They were basically, it was almost a pick 'em, like very little juice. Like I was only laying 18 cents with Gaussman on one of my books. I think that's fantastic. Other games that I like, I know this is crazy. I like the Giants tonight. I think that line's kind of tells me all I need to know about that game against Morton in Atlanta. Do things a little bit differently. I'm on the Yankees -1.5, but I can't lie. I took a shot with the Brewers tonight, which was probably pretty stupid. And the Jays, as we speak, just scored 1-0. Good guys. Let's go. Right on the first inning. There we go. That's the opposite of the dark cloud. It's the sunshine with the pot of gold.
I picked
and the lucky
Toronto.
stars.
Hey, I'm with you. I like Toronto. I love Toronto. I like Toronto.
Love's a strong word. This team is hard to love, but actually, this is the time to bet them now. When they're not chalk on the whatever. When everything's gone to crap, this is the perfect time to get in on the Jays. This is a classic Blue Jays move. You know this stuff in sports, guys. When the pressure's off, we're done. Let's play. Even the manager, Schneider's like doing great stuff with the lineup. I'm like, where the hell was this all year? Like, why? He's hitting the right buttons for a change. So anyway, good start for the Blue Jays. I'd like to see them. I didn't care about the total as much. I'd love to see them put up a cricket number and get this thing off to a good start. I like the Brewers tonight against the Dodgers. That was a bad pick by me. I just took a shot, and sometimes you're wrong, but. Dogs, guys. Wetzel and Dave, you guys know. Tomorrow we got golf picks. We got the FedEx Cup playoffs. First tournament.
So which one then? All right, so let me ask you then if you're going to go dogs, the PP, the public parlay, didn't hit last night thanks to the Stankies. Looks like they're going to win tonight up 3-0. So who's losing? Arizona versus Colorado or San Diego versus Pittsburgh?
I think already people got their early stuff smashed. Because think about it. Even if you did a round robin, I could tell you Baltimore, the Phillies. Who else was a huge favorite?
Right.
Mets. Is that Mets game over yet? They were down. Yeah, like all.
Not
so
yet.
The four biggest. Ooh, we might have a base and clearing triple. Let's go. Come on, runs, baby. Yeah, runs. I love it, Dave. Anyway, yes. Who's going to break the late night parlay? Excellent question, Wetzel. I would say if you gave me I'm in a dungeon and you're like, your life depends on this, Cam. You got to hit the one favorite that's going to lose. I would say Colorado's my upset special tonight if they were going to win a game. I don't like it, but I think the Padres keep on rolling. I don't know what Dave's wardrobe, I don't know what it is for the week, the month, or whatever. I was fading it. Now I'm back on riding it. I think this game versus Colorado is a very, very dangerous game. Gomber's actually not as bad as people think. And Arizona barely won yesterday. Dangerous play if you put in parlays. Just saying, Wetzel, you asked the question. I will say the Rockies could be the parlay buster tonight.
I agree with you. I think I actually like the Rockies more than I like the Pirates. I don't really like either one, but I think the Rockies have a better chance to win. The Pirates are just going super bad right now. Last one for me before we let you go. We broke down the AFC North, and the question was this: would it surprise you completely if the Browns won the AFC North? Where are you at with Cleveland, Cam?
I've already bet them to win the Super Bowl at 50-1. I bet them their wins total. I think they win this division. I think every team in this division will be divided by one game. I think the worst team will probably win 7 or 8. It's one of the best divisions in football. I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh made a move. I'm probably the only one in with this thinking. I think Baltimore takes a step back. I know they're a wicked football team, but that division's tough. It's all about Deshaun Watson. If he has any hunger again, and he stays healthy, with the Cleveland Browns running game and offensive line and that young defense coming together, I think the Cleveland Browns are one of the most dangerous teams. I like them a lot. It's funny you mentioned that, Dave. I don't know. It's like you're reading my mind. We haven't even talked about it. But yeah, I got the Browns at crazy plus money to win the division, the AFC, and I sprinkled on the Super Bowl at 50-1.
Wow. All right. There you go. For the first time, maybe. How about if you're going to think fantasy, why not go Browns versus Detroit Lions, right? Two teams that have never made the Super Bowl.
I got the Lions as a future, too. That's the Lions and Browns.
Super Bowl. How did I know?
Dumpster Super Bowl.
How did I know?
Love it. Get in the dumpster.
There you go. Cam and Gabe, top of the hour. All right, guys.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Bills. I'd like to see them there.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deep at receivers. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. You know, he was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, prime time on the grid. Wrapping up another 2-hour extravaganza. Cam Stewart and Gabe Morency at the top of the hour will take over for the next 2 here on the grid. You know, just talking some football, Dave, with him. It is amazing. Like, you get some really good teams. You get decent odds in other sports, but I don't think you get the quality of the teams you get with the NFL. You know, a case in point. Tampa Bay, right? All right, Tampa Bay, you know, they're not really that good. Listen, Tampa Bay was 1 late drive away from going to the NFC Championship game, and they're giving you 65-1 odds with Tampa Bay. I know Jacksonville was a disappointment last year, but they went to the second round of the postseason 2 years ago, 45-1. Rams, winning the Super Bowl just 3 years ago, 30-1. Browns down to 35-1, but still 35-1. Even my beloved Dolphins, 24-1. Your Steelers, 50-1, which I think is crazy. I mean, there are so many teams that realistically could win. If you want to say it's not going to be Niners and it's not going to be Chiefs, then it opens the door to so many other possibilities. You got to throw the dart and land on the right spot, but you do at least get decent numbers in the NFL.
You do. And I can tell you from doing those numbers for a long, long time, it's not a bad thing at all to take positions on teams that you think are going to start out well, because the prices get adjusted. The good teams usually stay the good teams, but the 50-1s become 30 after a good start, and 25. So you can lock in a really good price. Now, I can tell you this, there were times where, and again, I'm not picking on Minnesota, but people bet the Vikings like they're going to win the Super Bowl, and we never really had to move the number. I mean, they started out really good, and there were times where it was like, geez, the closest we came ever was when the Bears made it to the Super Bowl and with Rex Grossman. And we had taken some really gigantic bets on them at 100-1, 75-1, and the exposure was real. But you get a lot of teams. There's an extra playoff team now in the NFL. I don't know if that makes it easier or harder to win it, but the prices are fair. There's no doubt about it. I just think you have to take that leap without knowing the path if you're doing it now. The path has become huge for NFL futures. That number 1 seed is worth extra because you get a week off and you don't have to leave home. So, I mean, that's why the price on the Niners, and like right there, is so much better. The price on the Lions, if they get to play all the home games there, is going to change. Now, if they, the Chiefs went on the road, proved everybody wrong last year and won it from the lower spot and winning games on the road. So it can happen. When you look back in history, Scott, that 1 and 2 seed in the NFL, super strong.
Yeah. What'd you think of DraftKings today? Apparently saying, you know what, that 4% we were going to steal from you? All right, the public has spoken, and we're not going to do it. They changed their mind.
They put their thinking caps on, just like this.
Yeah.
The DraftKings hat. I had it ready in case we were going to talk about it. Look, it was a shot in the dark. They threw up a weather balloon and said, see if anybody else joins us in this, and nobody did. FanDuel had their earnings call today, said we're not doing it. No one else is doing it. They have social media too. DraftKings does. I mean, they pay attention to what's going on. It was the talk of the town here last week. We had legislators I talked to, business reporters in the space, and everybody was like, what are they doing? I said, they're testing the waters. I mean, they're pushing back a little bit at the legislators who said they wouldn't raise the tax rate from 15% to 40%. I said, all right, if you guys are going to do that, we're just going to pass it on to the customer. It's kind of a big step in saying they're going to put it right on the ticket. A $10 bet to win $10. Instead of collecting 20, you're going to collect $19.68. Smarter heads prevailed. Said, you know what? Yeah. We're not going to do this. Did they call you, the consultant?
They sent me an email. I didn't get a chance to respond in time, but they knew my position. Yeah. And honestly, we joke about it, but you can thank FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars, the big boys for not joining suit. So public ends up winning, pardon the pun, but it's because all those others said, no, we're not going to do that. So they were forced not to do it themselves, I think.
Good job,
Dave,
boys.
great job. We'll do it again tomorrow. PP, go public parlay.